Good morning, welcome back, and today we'll see the fundamentals of atomic structure. The from 400 BC onwards, everybody knows that entire world is made up of the atoms. Atoms are indivisible. That means it is a Greek word. It is undivisible, no cut. That is called the atom. But in the up to 1800 it was going on. Then there are so many experiments carried out, and subatomic particles like electron, proton, neutron were discovered. How they is discovered and all we'll see first. Say the Faraday carried out some electricity experiments in that Daniel cell, that is galvanic cells and all. So zinc sulfate, copper sulfate solution, they passed the electricity, and he found out that there is a transfer of some negative charge and all. So that was the basis, and so many experiments were carried out here also by using the battery and the gases and the liquids and all. So during that process they found out the electron, which is a negative position. How? Means they have taken first initially a glass tube like this. You assume that this is a glass tube, and from one end they have made as a one metal, means wire with metal, they welded. That is the cathode, and from the other one they placed a anode. That is, and it is connected with a battery. And after so many experiments, they found out that the gas should not be at the high value. That means it should be very, very low. So they made it as a vacuum. From the one end, they pulled the glass tube and made it to the very negative atmosphere. Very low pressure of the gas they have taken, and they passed the high voltage, and then they have seen that gas is discharged. The low pressure gas is discharged from cathode to anode, and to see, they cannot be seen by with the naked eye, so they have seen with so many other instruments. But to make it more easy, they made a hole on the metal, and that is on the anode, and they made one the fluorescence, phosphorescence material like a zinc sulfide and all. So they have seen some discharge on the spot. So to further verify these experiments and all, they changed so many gases. They changed the metal plates, that is cathode and anodes, but they are finding the same results. They concluded then there is an electron passing, that named as electron, which is fundamental unit. Then they want to find out how much is the charge and how much is the mass on the electron. So they further continued the experiments, and further continuation experiments, they found out that E by m equal to 1.7.10 to the power of 11 coulombs per kg. But they could not find out the charge and mass independently, but they could have to find out E by m ratio. And further this thing, they see here, initially they made the one electrode here and the one electrode at the last, but the subsequent experiments, the cathode is at the one end, the anode is in between. Afterwards there is an electric field and magnetic field they possess, and the fluorescence, phosphorescence materials are at the end. Like that the experiment is carried out, and it is evacuated totally. So when the high voltage is applied, cathode rays, that is the electrons are coming to the anode and pass through this, and when an electrical field is applied, only one electrical field is only applied, it is deflected towards the positive side, and they have applied the only magnetic field, then it has deflected the other side, that is the south side. Then they adjusted both the fields in such a way that it should not be deflected any time pointing at the state. By conducting these experiments, what they found out is, they found out the charge of the electron very precisely. The charge of the electron is nothing but 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulombs. and E by M ratio already available, and so E is also available now. So they found out E and M independently. And some more changes on the same this cathode ray tube or cathode ray tube. They found out by changing the gases and all, they found out a positive charge. The charge is equivalent, the positive is same, but if it is interestingly, electrons are not depending on the gas, or electrons are not depending on the metal or anything. But whereas the positive charge experiments, these protons, what you call afterwards later, protons is nothing but from the hydrogen gas only. That means the lowest. From the hydrogen gas, the low atmospheres, whatever it is coming is only the proton. The other things are also, we say the proton, but its charges are not actually unit charge. It is a double charge, triple charge, so many charges are there. So proton means it is only the hydrogen charge. Okay. So they found out there also again E by M ratio and the charge and all these things. On experimenting and all, finally the proton is almost 1835 times more than the mass of the electron, but the charge is same. Charge is equivalent, that is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 90 coulombs. But what we call normally the general this thing, plus 1 is for the proton, minus 1 is for the electron, because both charges are equal. They are that much big figure people don't want, other than for the calculating the problems and other things. So normally usually is the plus 1 is for the proton and minus 1 is for the electron negative charge, because the both are the electrical field and magnetic field, both are behaving oppositely. Conventionally electron is given as negative and the proton is given as positive. So that is the theory. Then parallelly the one more atom, subparticle atom, that is neutron, also found out, who is not having any charge, but the mass is slightly more than the proton. If it is 1.007, it is 1.008. That is mass units, absolute mass units, if you see. So that was that. Then immediately people have started how the atom model is, atomic model. So first, after so many models and all, Thomson has given a more reasonable a model, that is called pumpkin model or the watermelon model, where all the positive charges on the surface, and on the surface the entire the atom, and the electrons are placed staggeredly at equally, all the electrons on the surface, like seeds of the watermelon will be on the surface. If we are keeping on the red surface, entire atom is with the positive charge. That was the initially. So fine, that was continued for many years. Then parallelly Rutherford was carrying out many experiments. One of the scattering experiment, the most popular experiment, is the gold leaf scattering experiment. What is that gold leaf is? He has taken a gold foil, very thin layer of the gold foil he has taken, and alpha rays, by the time already the parallelly radioactivity is also coming up. So at that time the available is alpha, beta, gamma. So he has conducted experiments with alpha rays. So the alpha rays are bombarded on the gold leaf, and expecting that this rays will not be slightly deflected, because all the mass is, the entire atom, all the positive mass is there. Positive charge is totally on the, just like a watermelon or pumpkin model. Interestingly, no deflections were there most of the time, around 90-95%, and out of 20,000 rays, 2 rays have deflected totally at 180 degree angle. So on different gases, different models, and concluding and all with the gold leaf, alpha, so on accreting, conducting and all, he has concluded that the entire atom is without any charge. At the center only all the positive charge along with the neutrons are located, and all the electrons are revolving around the nucleus like a sun model. Sun, this Graha model, yes, implemented, means center nucleus is like a sun. All the planets are revolving the sun at the different orbitals. So in the atom also, electrons are revolving around the nucleus, where the center all the positive charge is located at one point, that is nucleus. So this is the what this was also explaining many theories, many problems which Thomson model, pumpkin model could not understand, but it is also having some drawbacks. So later it is concluded by Bohr. That's called as on today, the latest is the Bohr atomic model and all. So we'll see the Bohr atomic model tomorrow. Then immediately so many things will comes out, that isotopes, isobars, atomic number, mass number, who is actually participating in the reactions, all these things tomorrow we'll see. Thank you very much for this thing.